The hell are you supposed to be?
I'm vengeance.
Whoa! This guy's crazy!
You're part of this too. How am I part of it? You'll see.
What's up, guys? Hanera coming back to you with a new video today. Now, I know this is going to be a bit different from my wacky skits, but this is something I am passionate about. So without further ado, let's get started. So recently, DC has had super success with DC Fandom, which was their virtual version of Comic-Con, where they had, I think they had reached about 22 million worldwide watchers. And we got to see everything from the Suicide Squad by James Gunn, The Rock's panel for Black Adam, and Matt Reeves' The Batman, which we are here to talk about today. So my first thoughts on the Batman trailer, I absolutely loved it, from how the tone is all the way up to the characters. This is what I believe the Batman franchise has needed on the big screen for a while. Now, don't get me wrong, I love the Nolan and Snyder version, but it's also refreshing at the same time to reach back to the roots of Batman, striking fear into villainy of Gotham, and also being the world's greatest detective at the same time. I believe that's sort of been like sidelined over the past years, but I am grateful that Matt Reeves is giving us this version that we can see that is essentially kind of like a new take on the big screen. Now, I will say I do love how he's treating these characters such as Riddler, not so being like a second-rate villain anymore, but more like he has more to do. There's more meaning. It seems like there's history with his new iteration of the Riddler, and how like his new character is Edward Nash instead of Nigma. I like that. It's a fresh new take. It, you know, when you look at it, it's an unnecessary change, but it's one of those things that make a difference in a weird way, and I do like that. I'm also completely fine with how, he's more of like a Zodiac killer. He keeps his face hidden. He's more like, he is there doing these things, not having people do it for him. And that's what I sort of like about this, is now that Riddler is sort of getting hands-on instead of being like, riddle me this, riddle me that, He's doing stuff. He's killing these people. He's taking down the politicians and the corruption of Gotham as he sees he can. And with that, I'm actually pretty excited for Paul Dano and how he is going to play this new version of Riddler that we have not seen on TV or on the movie screen before, or the big screen. The second character I'm most excited for is Jeffrey Wright as Jim Gordon. He's younger. He's not commissioner yet. It's not confirmed whether he's captain or on detective level, but I love how it's like he seems to really be embracing the look and the nature of the character, from knowing right and wrong and willing to actually work with Batman publicly to make Gotham a better place and corruption free. I have seen his work on Westworld and movies over the years, and I will say his acting, I love it. I love how he portrays characters and how he fully commits to the role, and I'm really excited to see how he turns Jim Gordon into his own version. A little side note, though, is for the Colin Farrell as the Penguin, when he pops up in the trailer and you cannot recognize him at all, I think that is awesome work, bro. Whoever did that needs a raise. Whoever did the prosthetics needs a freaking raise. Get this man some more money. I really thought they were gonna go with like a full-on like tall Colin Farrell with the white hair from the leaked photos we had seen before, but when I saw him in the trailer, I was completely like, for the first couple days, I did not know that was him until people started talking about that was him, and I will say Penguin, I feel, has been overused. I did love him in Gotham. I did love how he started from the bottom and made his way up to the top. He's a character I can go without, but at the same time, he's there, so I'm willing to see how Colin Farrell plays him. And Colin Farrell is a good actor. I do like him. Don't get me wrong with that. It's just the character I feel like has been used so many times, but I'm okay with seeing it since this is a new version of a Batman that we have not seen yet. Now, to get to Robert Pattinson, I'm going to be honest, when I first heard of his casting, I thought probably, like most people, wow, this guy, you know? But after seeing him in the suit moving and in action, I'm going to be honest, I'm completely hooked with this. From how he is to Bruce Wayne, like how he looks visually, and even to the like black eye makeup left over from when he doesn't wear the cowl, or when he removes the cowl. When Matt Reeves said Pattinson was the soul of Batman at DC Fandom, I'm not even going to lie, I fully agree with him to that point now. You can see that Pattinson is actually really trying to embrace it and show that, like, this is my version of the Batman. This is me. I am doing this. And for the haters out there, it sucks to be them, because this is going to be good. I can already sense this is going to be good, and I feel like most people can agree with me on that. Another note with Robert Pattinson as a Batman is that I know people are divided and being like, wow, this dude's scrawny, But the way I see it with the weight and strength at the moment is like, he's Batman year 2. Batman has only been doing this for 2 years at this point. He doesn't fully know what he's doing with this. It's more like an experiment for him and seeing what he can do with this vigilantism. You know what I'm trying to say. But, it's like him trying to learn how to strike fear and make the city a better place and have, like, people fear of him as, like, I don't want to say like a god, but like an entity in a sense. But, I don't think Batman needs to be bulky like, say, how Ben Affleck is. Ben Affleck's freaking Batman is ripped. And I think if we had a super bulked up Batman at the start of his second year, it'd just be a little like, it'd feel out of place, So I can see where people saying like, yeah, Batman needs to be a badass and like super buff. But for this movie and the time, I think that really works out for him, But yeah, overall, Robert Pattinson, I'm for him as Batman, and I cannot wait to see how he performs it. Next segment deals with the two theories that I think are very interesting and could be possible, sort of. The first being how the Court of Owls could be connected to all of this. If this were the case, I believe that's a great call on Matt Reeves' end for giving us something completely new to the movies and can at the same time further their popularity. With this theory, that most believe Bruce's family has been contributing to the downfall of Gotham and corruption like how they were in the Telltale series. Now, I'd be totally okay with this because he's essentially trying to right his parents' wrongs at that point and have a personal connection with his mission even deeper, I believe. There are beliefs that the Riddler emerges in a way of trying to bring light to the court and corruption in Gotham. Or, possibly think of Batman as like a Talon, but I think that's a little far-fetched for this movie and the story. When it comes down to it, I think if Batman's family had personal connections with the corruption and the court, I feel like this could be a great personal mission for Bruce to try to right his parents' wrong. And it could mean so much deeper into his mission and how he goes about this for his future. But for the next part, I think that for the next theory, that Edward Nash could have very well been a friend of Bruce from his childhood and has essentially taken up the mantle of Riddler, such as a Hush-type idea from the comics. Now, we have seen that the Riddler was Hush in the animated version of Hush, Batman Hush. Now, the thing about this is Matt Reeves has said that this will be a whole new take on these characters and story, and we technically have seen that. I don't know how I would feel about that. I could see this being true, but at the same time, I wouldn't count on it. I'd count more on the Court of Owls, because we have seen the card. There are new theories that the person in the stairwell at what could be the GCPD in the trailer could be a Court of Owls mask. But I wouldn't count for him being a Hush type of ordeal. Now, don't rule it out, but at the same time, don't lean into it, I guess. But yeah, overall, though, the hype is real with this movie and has divided some people, but overall, the majority seems to be wildly positive for this. And that's a good thing, you know. We have not seen a true detective, Sherlock Holmes type of Batman, I feel, on screen. And that really has people drawn in, I believe. But as I said earlier, like, it goes back to the roots, the sense of a detective style. Therefore, I cannot wait for the release of this movie. But I want to thank you guys for watching this. And I know it's sort of a weird, different type of video. But make sure you guys do hit that subscribe and like button. It really helps me out. And I want you guys to have a good night or good day and stay smooth. Catch you guys in the next one.